more cookies, Jason. Oh my god. Let's talk about the most vile, horrendous, and terrifying creature to ever grace cinema and horror, and that is Zelda from Pet Sematary. If you're not familiar with the film Pet Sematary, it's an adaptation based off the Stephen King novel, one of the novels that Stephen King actually said straight up that he had to put it away in his drawer after he wrote it for several years because it traumatized him that bad.
Was that as he continued writing the book, a kind of depression settled on him because it was such a dark book. And as a result, he simply put the book in a drawer and didn't really want to see it published.
Especially for adults, the themes and concepts of this movie are truly jarring and haunting. It deals with death of children, animals, jaw-dropping. But the irony for most of us, millennial adults, for a movie that is catered to an adult audience, this movie triggered us by one foul moment. And that is the moment that Zelda is shown on screen. If you don't know who Zelda is, she is probably one of the most disturbing elements of Pet Sematary, from the novel to the movie to the remake. And though the story of Zelda is truly traumatic, one of the main characters, Rachel, tells a story about her older sister Zelda, who suffered from severe spinal meningitis, and as she dealt with this ailment and sickness, she evolved into a monster in the eyes of the poor young girl Rachel, who had to pretty much take care of her sister that was dying. And it's genius too, because they could have pulled the sympathy card, but at the same time, the way that they showed her and the way the actor portrayed this particular character, it was haunting, riveting, and just bone-chilling, I swear to fuck. Fun fact, even though Zelda was clearly a child or a teenager that was depicted in the novel and the movie, director of Pet Sematary, Mary Lambert, decided to cast a adult male to play Zelda, and that's where the actor Andrew Hubasek plays a huge pivotal role. He was the one to make or break this moment, and he fucking nailed it. We get the flashback from Rachel, how tormented and devastated she was. She witnessed her sister choked to death, essentially, and she couldn't do anything to help. So later on in the movie, when Zelda comes back more as a phantom,
I'm coming for you, Rachel.
A supernatural being, whether it's from guilt or what the Pet Sematary around is conveying. It still has one of the most scariest scenes of all time. I don't know, just something about that scene, you know, you're going home to check on your family, and this movie has plagued me since I was a kid. No joke, if I'm working overnight or if I'm home alone in my room and the window's open, I close the blinds because I'm terrified I'm going to see Zelda. And it's everything from her voice to her presence to her intention, because even though she was played out to be a victim, you know, a child essentially suffering from a sickness, the fact that the movie painted her into a monster is that much more horrific, and especially with how she looks. Alright, let's just take a quick snippet at the scene. I'm sure you've all seen it, but fuck.
I finally came back for you, Rachel. I'm going to twist your back like mine, so you'll never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again.
And the cultural phenomena that untangled with this incident in this movie is remarkable, because as a kid, I thought it was an irrational fear of mine. I was always like, you know, for some reason I'm scared of Zelda from Pet Sematary. But as social media had expanded and grew, like, it is not just me. There are so many people that you read for. What's the scariest moment of a horror movie from your childhood? And she always reaches the list, and it's kind of like validating, because I remember I rented this movie on like my 8th birthday, and I was terrified every time like I thought about her. I fucking screamed up until my late 20s, early 30s, dude. It's freaky. So to see other people portray her in such a devastating light makes you feel better, but it just shows the impact that this movie did, because yeah, it's not the greatest Stephen King movie. Adaptation is severely underrated, but it is one of the most disturbing, gritty, gruesome, and heartbreaking, and that scene alone cemented itself into horror history. You have the likes of Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and some even have Zelda high above them because of how disturbing she was. She was in the movie for 3 minutes, and she really scarred us. And to scar people is a very hard thing to do. I know they touched base on it on the remake, but from what I remember, it was not even close to being as similar. I don't know, to this day, it's one of the few things that scar me. There's so many things that freaked me out as a child that still carry on today. So if you want to see a video of like my top 10 biggest irrational fears in horror movies, comment down below. Let me know if that's something you want to see. Did this movie freak you out? Do you not get the hype that a lot of people see, or are you still terrified of Zelda? Alright guys, that's the video. Subscribe, hit that ding-a-ling button harassing you, telling you, hey, it's me, I'm here. I'm gonna say it one time for the one time, 2 times for the O's. Give me a hell yeah for horror, and if you don't, you'll never get out of bed again! Why isn't my window open?
And this time, I'll get you.